Welcome to FCSI's Innovation in the Kitchen series, where we talk to leading consultants and industry experts on the key issues that are impacting the kitchen design and the operational management of food service spaces. My name is Michael Jones, and this series is supported by the Middleby Corporation. Huge thanks to them. Today, we are addressing the K-12 schools food service sector, and I am delighted to be joined by Orlando Espinosa, principal of Orlando Espinosa Associates. Hugely respected in the sector and indeed this industry. Orlando is based in Pennsylvania, US, and was the recipient of FE&S's Consultant of the Year at its Dealer of the Year and All Industry Gala 2024. Orlando, massive congratulations on that award and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mike. I really enjoy these types of opportunities to talk about different sectors of the marketplace, and this K-12 is very exciting. I've been in the industry 48 years as a food service consultant. I originally started out 28 years with Corporate America and their design and construction departments, and then have been in private practice for over 20 years. I do work in all sectors of the food service industry: college, universities, healthcare, sports and entertainment, and B&I. And then also the Olympics, as you can see by my posters in the back. Those are the Olympics that I'm pleased to say I've participated in throughout my career.
Wonderful.
But we're talking about K through 12, and I'm excited to share with you my thoughts and
excellent
ideas.
Well, thanks so much, Orlando. Let's get going on that. And how, just really to set the scene here and give us some context, how would you describe the K through 12 food service sector in the US specifically right now? Is it experiencing a lot of growth? What's the state of play? Is it keeping consultants who specialize in this sector busy generally?
Well, right now we're experiencing a period of stabilization post-COVID. We are seeing that participation levels are starting to come back to normal. However, there are plenty of challenges, such as lower student participation, rising costs, and labor shortages continue to plague the industry right now.
Yeah, lots of challenges to deal with. Let's talk about the kind of level of investment that you're seeing then. Are you seeing plenty of investment from operators in K-12 projects? Is that mostly going on new builds? Is it going on refurbs? Also, I guess as a adjacent question to that, in an election year as we're facing now, how much does that interfere with investment? How much does it add uncertainty into the pot as well?
Well, to start with, as far as investment, yes, there are dollars available. And yes, there are projects that are underway right now. I'm fortunate in that I do work all over the United States. I currently have 2 projects here in Pennsylvania and then 2 out in California. So I get an opportunity to see, 2 different marketplaces. The money that's available right now on 3 of the projects are for new projects and for developing school districts in areas of growth. I'm also participating in one renovation of an existing facility in an older part of the city of Bakersfield, California. They all recognize that, food nutrition is critical in the educational process. And of course, with government guidelines for food nutrition, they need to come up to speed and be able to meet those guidelines.
Fantastic. You highlighted at the top a couple of the challenges that the industry, this sector specifically, is facing. One of which, of course, is labor. The other are things like inflationary costs and things like that. Could you discuss maybe some of those challenges, some of those major challenges that the sector is facing right now? And also, what are some of the big trends and other kind of impacts that the sector is feeling and consultants like you are then having to deal with?
Gosh, some of the major challenges, would include strict nutritional guidelines and the ability to meet those guidelines in not only producing the food, or finding the food and producing the food, but also maintaining the quality to encourage continued participation, and with the eventual goal to grow participation. Because while you have people returning at normal levels to school, not everybody is participating in the food service program. That's a number of reasons. It can be economics, and it could be the quality of the food that's being produced. So it's incumbent upon the school districts to address those head on and make sure that they are selling or providing quality nutritious food and consistent food with the quality and temperature and taste.
You mentioned there that it's incumbent on the districts themselves, the school districts, to address these big challenges. How do you feel they are, on the whole, rising to these challenges? Some of these big kind of impacts that they're having to face. How are they dealing with it all?
Well, I'll tell you, as I look at K through 12 throughout the United States, you have regions of the country that are very stable and they encourage growth and renovation and innovation. Then there are other parts that are strapped for cash,
Mm-hmm.
that have to work with what they have, and so it kind of limits their ability to be innovative. But as the opportunity comes up to build new or renovate facilities, we have the opportunity as consultants to introduce new technology and new ways of producing consistent quality food for them.
Orlando, you mentioned that ability to be innovative in this sector. How is equipment innovation specifically improving the design of school kitchens and improving those standards and elevating them?
It's improving kitchens by reducing the overall footprint of the kitchen without losing the ability to produce at the capacities needed. The technology that's employed in equipment, especially equipment that's multifunctional, can give an operator the ability to meet the demands per meal period, with the food being at the highest quality when needed. So you're not cooking food hours in advance or ahead of time and
Yeah.
storing it and having it degrade on you. You're able to cook a quality product consistently, stage for a brief period of time, and have it hot and ready or cold for the students as they come through. So that's a big plus in the way kitchens were typically run.
Fantastic. Now, sustainability is something that's impacting every sector in this industry. Let's talk about how it's impacting K through 12. Are operators, manufacturers, students alike taking sustainability more seriously in K through 12? How are you seeing that sort of manifesting itself?
I'm seeing it starting to improve, a lot more awareness. And I think a lot of that comes through exposure from, say, from their older brothers and sisters, who are attending high school and college, and even in the workforce, that they know they need to separate food. They know that they need to not be wasteful. And then on the kitchen side, they need to know that if food is not used, that it can be rescued and it can be provided to others that are in need of food. And there are organizations all over the country that are more than willing to work with schools and businesses and universities in rescuing this food and providing it to those underserved individuals in the community.
Great to hear. Orlando, you mentioned that you work in a number of other sectors as well as K through 12. One of which is higher education, colleges and universities and things like that. How can K through 12 specifically learn from college and university food service operations, and maybe some of the projects you're working in those sectors? Does any of that innovation or technology or thinking, best practice filter down through to K through 12 as well?
Yes, it does. And in my particular practice, we encourage it strongly when we meet with a client up front. We share with them what's happening in other sectors of the food service industry. Doesn't always have to be university and colleges and high schools. It can be healthcare facilities, B&I. Again, we look for best practices, and then we look for what's the easiest to employ here. You can't overwhelm the K through 12 audience, and especially the culinary staff, with a lot of the extreme measurements that take place, say, in other segments of the industry, where you're weighing waste at the prep stations and weighing waste, at the dish drop and all of that. So we have to simplify it and at least start to educate the students and the staff of where things need to be right now and how we start improving upon that over the years. It's I hate to say it this way, but it's still new to a lot of people, and especially the
Right.
K through 12 crowd. So you don't want to overwhelm them. You want to establish good basic practices and then expand upon that.
And you mentioned that establishing good best practices. What is the role of the consultant in this sector specifically, and why is it so pivotal? What value do experienced consultants like yourself bring to this sector?
Well, to put it simply, best practices from other segments of the marketplace. In other words, right now, if we're working with a BNI account and, they're starting to cater, rather than reinvent the wheel, we'll educate them how things are catered in, say, a convention center, and educate them, expose them and educate them on these best practices, and then tailor it to meet their particular needs. So it's within their cost constraints and their physical space. But again, we draw upon a lot of different experiences throughout the food service industry in order to identify those best practices.
Orlando, you mentioned best practice there. Discuss the role of FCSI here as a global society. How do we share our best practice amongst members better, maybe for this sector specifically?
Well, FCSI has a number of programs and initiatives to those members that can participate in either seminars or on video conference calls where there's roundtable discussions, and they can be on specific topics or on particular types of food services, or I call them lines of business, whether you're talking about business and industry, K through 12, healthcare, or whatever. And so there's this cross-pollination of information from those that, like myself, that have been in the industry quite a long time, to those that are up and coming in the industry and want to learn and experience the education and the knowledge that the senior members have. And it's a great cross-pollination of all FCSI members. And I'm excited to participate when I can. And also not only as a teacher, but also as a student. You can never stop learning.
This is very true. Can you predict how the K through 12 sector is going to evolve? And also, why should we be positive about the future of school food service generally, despite all of the challenges that you highlighted?
I think we should be very positive about the future of K through 12. A number of reasons. The first is an upgrade of the food service operations, the technology, and the training of the employees that will be using this new technology. In addition, the sourcing and education of the operators and looking for sustainable practices by their vendors, also looking for locally grown produce and foodstuffs when they're available, bringing a healthier menu and opportunities in variety of menu to students as they go through the K through 12 sector.
Brilliant. Thanks, Orlando. Final question from me. Ultimately, what is it that you love about this sector? Why do you find it a fulfilling sector to work in? What do you love about it?
Well, I love it because I have 2 grandchildren. I've had my kids go through school and everything, and fortunately, they went to very good schools, and I want to see that continue, not only for them, but for all students, every place. Whether you're in Mississippi or you're in Oregon or Minnesota, I think there needs to be parity in the quality of food, the nutritional values of those foods, and it needs to be done efficiently and cost effectively. But that's second and third to the nutrition and the value that needs to be provided with those meals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's a great market, and I'm looking for all of the new innovations that are coming into the marketplace. I think the biggest challenge right now is to getting the people behind it to say, yes, I recognize this is the right thing to do, and I want to do it. You might not be able to do all of it at once, but you can work your way into it in phases.
Wonderful. On that note, Orlando, let's draw things to a close. Let me thank Orlando for his tremendous insight there. Thank you for watching too, and stay tuned to fcsi.org for more videos in this series. Thank you.
Thank you.